Disney's decline and their continuous lack of effort. Welcome to the OTOT podcast. Today we're giving you our thoughts on the current state of Disney. We're starting it off with Star Wars, moving on to Marvel, and then we're going to start looking at Disney as a whole. Are they putting out anything good? What's worth watching? My name is Alex, and joining me is...
Jason?
Trakari.
And let's jump into it. Alright, so starting off, let's talk about Star Wars. I think that is probably the most prevalent thing that's going on in Disney Plus, like at the time. I know Loki just started, and I know that was like the most watched thing on Disney Plus's platform in a very long time, if not ever. So I guess saying that Star Wars is the most prevalent isn't right, but I think that talking about Ahsoka is still pretty important because it just ended a couple weeks ago. I know, Trakari, you did not see Ahsoka, and I want to know why.
I just didn't care enough, honestly. Like that, like if I'm being like super blunt, I just didn't care enough to watch Ahsoka. Like, I like Star Wars, and I would say I'm a pretty big fan. I just think that like some of the stuff that Disney is choosing to give time to doesn't need it, per se. Like I don't know why Ahsoka needed a show, really. Like I don't know. I mean, I also like Solo, so like this is kind of hypocritical, but so it's like, it's just weird. I just didn't feel like a reason to watch Ahsoka. Like I like Rosario Dawson. I think she's amazing as an actress, but I just like there's no like I saw all the trailers and I was like I don't feel the need to, like
Okay.
I'm sure like I'll be fine without this.
Sure. Did you watch any of the other Star Wars stuff, like The Mandalorian or The Book of Boba Fett, like any of that Disney Plus Star Wars?
I've seen the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
I think I may have started the Bad Batch, the animated show.
Right. Okay.
Is that it? I think that might be it, right?
They have Visions. I don't know if you've seen
Disney
Visions.
Oh, I have seen Visions. I like that a lot.
Okay.
That was super dope.
Cool.
Gotcha. Okay. And what was your opinion of, obviously Visions, you said pretty great.
And that's the type of sorry.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I thought Visions. I thought it was dope, man. Like I think it's really cool getting to see these like kind of anime inspired like different types of like versions of the Star Wars universe. And I'm not saying like the live action stuff has to be like that, but I think the idea of Star Wars being a visually different universe is cool. Like I'm not like I know it has a distinct look, but I think there's a way to like inject some like creative distinctness into that, that we haven't when I watch the trailers for Ahsoka, I don't see like anything visually like appealing. I see like generic kind of Star Wars, imagery, if that makes sense. So like
Sure.
I like Visions it was just like this unique kind of view of this world, and I think Star Wars is so big and expansive that it allows for that. It's just that like we're probably not gonna see that because people like the fucking Skywalker so much or whatever, and that
Right.
whole story.
Well, calm down on that. Calm down on that.
All right.
People
Sorry,
love the
I
Skywalker.
gotta pause really quickly. I might be right back.
All right. I'm gonna remember my thought because I wrote it all down in my head.
Okay.
I use a sketchbook as a notebook.
Nice. For some reason, I am still talking to you, but every time I click, it just says it's loading. I'll be right back.
The story's over.
Yeah.
It's like what we're talking about whenever we talked about the Avengers or Marvel
Yeah.
in general. The story's over.
Well,
Yeah. All right, Jason, go ahead. What were you saying?
sorry, I'm chewing something. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Going crazy on Bojangles during the podcast is crazy.
This is professional podcasting right here.
All right.
I was starving. Anyways. Yeah, well, calm down on the Skywalkers. The Skywalkers are central to like the whole Star Wars universe. You gotta remember, Anakin's the chosen one, so he's always gonna matter. But what Star Wars kind of has is I've heard other people use this term. I don't remember where I originally heard it, but they call it the small universe problem, where Star Wars just has this feel to make everything always connected. Like, why did Obi-Wan have to go on a whole adventure with young Leia? Like, it could have been a completely different thing. Why we didn't need an origin story for Han Solo. Like, Han Solo is a very interesting character, but we don't need his origin story. The most interesting part about him was that he was a space scoundrel who you didn't know about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that issue that they have.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel it in so many places.
I understand what you're saying about Anakin being the chosen one, but Star Wars still, or like that universe still exists before and after him, right? I think we have exhausted everything during the Skywalker saga, right? I want to see more like Old Republic, or I want to see what happens like even after the sequels. Maybe not that, but I want to see more Old Republic. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Anakin being the chosen one? Isn't that like a retcon from the prequels, or is that always like he's the chosen one?
Well, it was. I guess it was kind of a retcon in the prequels. The way George Lucas explained it was, in the original trilogy, the Force was unbalanced through Vader and Palpatine. When Vader overthrew Palpatine and went back to the light, the balance of the Force was restored, and that was kind of expanded on. In the
but that also doesn't make any sense. But it's okay.
Well, because
two Sith Lords, destroy both of them, add more Jedi, balance.
Well, because Anakin lived half his life as a Jedi, half his life as a Sith. Anyways, so he was like perfectly split down the middle. So kind of like the story of Star Wars. I do think the story of Star Wars can exist without the Skywalkers. I think the perfect way to kind of go into that was through the like the Old Republic, the High Republic era. The cool thing that the sequel of the original sequel books is it was dealing with like the children and the grandchildren of Luke and Leia and Han Solo, and those books are really interesting. I really love those, especially with like Thrawn is in the old stuff, and what Thrawn was doing in the old books was so much cooler than what he was doing in the Filoni show.
Right.
Which I can talk about that for hours because that
what
book
is
was
he
dope.
do? I don't care about spoilers. So what is he doing currently?
So
in Ahsoka,
yeah,
he kind of chills.
Also, who is he? I know he was in Rebels, but other than that,
he's like a zealot that still like clings to the Empire even after it's been destroyed. His main purpose is to rebuild the Empire as if like the Emperor had never died. Exactly.
That is that is such an original plot point that has never been explored in Star Wars.
And the books, the way they did it in the books was because Thrawn recognized that there was a greater threat outside of the Star Wars, the galaxy that Star Wars normally takes place in.
Yeah.
They were called the Yuuzhan Vong. Pretty sure that's it. They were like this crazy alien race from a different galaxy that was like all about war. Because they're like the Klingons from freaking Star Trek. Which I thought that was way cooler than I'm just going to try to revive the Empire for reasons.
Right.
Thrawn wasn't loyal to the Empire. He was originally, he just went with the flow because he's originally a Republic officer. I don't think he really cared who he was doing it for.
Right. But in Ahsoka, the whole thing is like, I know this is something that Jason and I might get into, but Ahsoka is framed as it explains how Thrawn returns. But it does not explain how Thrawn returns. All it does is show him returning. It's like the whole like first 6 episodes, maybe 5.5 episodes is Ahsoka like, I have to find Thrawn, he's returning. And then after she finds him, then it's literally just like, oh, Thrawn's ready to return, and then he does. And it's like, there's no explanation for like how he was living on this other planet, how he masked this like zombie army or anything like that. Like,
They don't explain. Well, I think the whole zombie army those are the original stormtroopers who were with him when they went there. And then the Night Sisters have just been resurrecting them over and over again. That's why their armor is all. What I can tell you about modern Star Wars is they do a little too much showing, and not enough telling. Because there's no idea what's going on half the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I remember sitting and watching what was the last Rise of Skywalker? And just being
Yeah.
like, this makes no fucking sense. Palpatine is just back. He's just
Somehow
Palpatine
Palpatine
returned.
returned.
somehow, yes. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, the part for me where the sequels fell apart, it was when they went against everything they've been telling us for 2 movies and just being like, okay, she's a Skywalker now. Like the whole
Yeah.
point was she's not, and like I think
Right.
that's a good story. That's a
Yeah.
great story. You have this whole universe that has been completely fucked by this one family, and the person who can save it is no relation to this idiotic family. Like it's just this other person.
Right. And that's like the first thing that George Lucas did when he created Star Wars. It's like the reason that Luke is named Luke and has the only like common name in Star Wars is that he's supposed to represent the common man in an uncertain galaxy, right? And so
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like anybody can see themselves in Luke Skywalker. It's not because the fact that he's a Skywalker is what makes him great. It's that he believes, and that's what makes him great. And then
It's
you
like a
get to
good
rise.
heart or whatever.
Right, right. And then you get to Rise of Skywalker, and it's like, oh, just kidding.
Oh, you
Well, I
have to
mean-
be a Skywalker to save the universe.
Yeah.
That goes into my whole thing about like Disney doesn't understand Star Wars. Like just Disney
Yeah.
just does not fundamentally understand what makes Star Wars great. And
To that point, though,
I think
does George
Disney
Lucas
as a-
even understand Star Wars?
I think George Lucas, George Lucas' idea for the original sequel trilogy, while I think it would have bombed in the box office, as somebody who loves Star Wars, I think I would have liked it. Even the original
Okay.
version of Episode 9, which is called Duel of the Fates, which was really cool, had them fighting going back to Coruscant, where it kind of all first went down and happened, falling on the ruins of the original Jedi Temple. Stuff like that. That's what Star Wars is. Not Star Wars isn't just a Mary Sue becoming all powerful and somehow being able to beat, with no training with a lightsaber at all, somehow being able to beat Kylo Ren, who's been training with a lightsaber since he was like 5. Like it just doesn't make sense. And I have, they just don't, they don't get it, man. They don't get it.
Right.
I mean, they did tell us basically from the beginning Kylo Ren was a bitch. So that's all the
Well, yeah.
justification they needed.
That
Kylo
is
Ren's
true.
been a bitch since day one.
Since
That's
day
true.
one.
Jason, I know we got Trakari's opinion on the current state of Disney Star Wars. I want to see, like, what have you watched and what have you felt towards it? Just to get that out there.
I've watched all the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff except for Andor.
Which is crazy. I don't understand how you cannot see the best Disney Plus Star Wars content.
Because I don't like Rogue One, so I'm not gonna watch.
That's insane.
Andor. I get it. I understand what about Rogue One and Andor makes it a good movie. I just am entirely uninterested. I'm not a lick of interest in my
But you're
life.
interested in Ahsoka?
Okay, so I wasn't even gonna watch Ahsoka. What happened was I was at my dad's house and he was watching it. And then I was like, well, I've watched the first 3 episodes, so now I have to know how it ends, right?
Got you.
I would never have watched that on my own volition.
Have you seen
No.
Rebels?
I've seen like the first 6 episodes of Rebels. I hate the Rebels art style.
Yeah.
I watched all of the Clone Wars though.
Right.
Both versions, both the 2D animation and the 3D animation.
Right.
But
And
I kind of feel like,
Clone Wars was
over-
still before Disney owned Star Wars.
yeah,
At
it was
least the
back when
first
Disney-
6 seasons, right? The 7th
Yeah.
season was
Yeah, the 7th
Yeah.
season was Disney leading the helm with all the original people back, so it's not like much
Right.
change. But
Right. Okay. So I do want to know, what do you guys think about Dave Filoni basically being this new figurehead for Star Wars?
I mean, they're obviously trying to do what they've done with Kevin Feige, where it's just like, here's this one guy who's in charge, you know, that we can point to as like a figurehead almost.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like, I think you can, I guess like without knowing how much real say so he has, it's the same thing with Kevin Feige, where it's like, people be like, oh, fuck Kevin Feige, he's why this shit sucks now. But it's like, unless like someone comes out outright and says like how much like decision making power they have, like it's hard for me to point to him specifically and say he's the bad guy. And if you were to change, like if we change him with anybody else, does shit change? Like we don't really know, because we don't know how much power he truly has over each like show.
That's true. I believe, as far as like I can tell, he has had significant influence through Bad Batch because he created the Clone Wars, and the Bad Batch is just
Yeah.
a continuation of the Clone Wars. He helped create The Mandalorian. He helped create Book of Boba Fett. He created Ahsoka. I, as far as I like believe, he didn't have anything to do with Visions or Andor, which, in my opinion, are the two best pieces of content of Star Wars.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Dave Filoni is Dave Filoni was like George Lucas's apprentice who was going to take over Star Wars after he retired.
Right.
Yeah.
So he has like the most intimate details on like the original plans. Like he was the original showrunner for the Clone Wars 2007 show. So he's kind of had like, I would say his peak of influence was kind of like his peak influence was right before Disney acquired Star Wars. And then it went down, and then once Disney Plus kind of happened, he shot back up. Just because, like, truth be told, The Mandalorian is super popular, mainly because of Baby Yoda.
Right.
I don't think that's true.
Book of Boba Fett did okay. People, Obi-Wan sucked, but people still watched it. So,
Yeah.
he's a company man. That's what he is.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I still think that the first season of The Mandalorian was like by far the best. And
That was really good.
yeah, and I believe the only reason that it was so well is because when they started off, he didn't know, like him and Jon Favreau together decided to create The Mandalorian. And when they started off, they basically didn't know if they would have the ability to connect it to anything else, and so they had to like essentially force it to stand alone. And I think causing it to stand alone really gave it some like really interesting ground to like make up its own story. It doesn't have to be connected to the Skywalkers in any way. It doesn't have to be connected to Ahsoka in any way. And then as soon as season 2 comes around and The Mandalorian season 1 did so well, Disney gave him basically free reign to connect it to whatever he wanted to. And like the second he did that, he brought in Ahsoka again. And it's like
Yeah.
he brought in Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker, and it's like, leave them alone. It's like it works so well when you don't have to connect it to everything else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
If
why
Mandalorian-
can't? I was just gonna say, why can't you just have Mando be a dad? Like, just let him like,
Exactly.
go on these like weird adventures with this like kid.
If they had just stuck to being a space western without all the other, I think The Mandalorian got worse the more Star Wars it got.
Exactly.
know, It's kind of weird to feel that way, but like if it just stayed a space western and he's doing bounties with Grogu going across, like kind of like a lone wolf and cub type of situation going on again,
Or like
I would
Cowboy
really
Bebop.
enjoyed it. Or yeah, like Cowboy Bebop, basically Cowboy Bebop. That would have been really cool to me. But then they're like, okay, guys, now we're gonna try to retake Mandalore. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You went from doing bounties to becoming the leader of all the Mandalorians and then giving it up and then retaking the planet. Like, you've really jumped
Right.
in history really quickly.
Right.
I do have a question. Oh,
Sure, yeah.
I'm sorry, Alec. I was gonna like, as we're talking about Star Wars, like I'm just like, it almost feels like Star Wars ruins everything. So I guess my question is like, is it even like possible at this point to make like a new good set of Star Wars movies? Like I feel like what people want from this series is too like even if you're just like a kind of like a casual enjoyer, like it's just too the range is too far from like what people want this series to be, that I think it's almost like impossible to make a good, like I don't think you can make 3 good Star Wars movies anymore. Like I don't think it's possible.
You know what? I disagree because all they would need to do is try to go Star Wars for Old Republic 1, 2, and 3 and do the games and as a movie. And people would lose their mind. People would lose their mind. Absolutely. That's
No,
all
I
they would have.
agree. I agree. They need to adopt more Legends content, which is just, for those who don't know, Legends is a series of books. Nice. A series of books that were published by various authors, which tried to expand upon the Star Wars lore. But as soon as Disney bought Star Wars,
Yeah.
they basically said none of this stuff counts anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When Disney acquired it, like the comic books, they all like the Dark Horse stuff. They were all like, "Fuck that! Here's this new Darth Vader." The Darth Vader comic book is really good though, but they were just like, none of the other stuff matters.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Which sucks because it's so much better when you have all these people collaborating that like love Star Wars and all they want to do is add to the universe instead of looking at this big corporate entity, which is like, how can we make money off this?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, which sucks.
That's how you
yeah.
get cool stuff like Starkiller and Darth Revan and Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus ate a planet. People need to understand. He used
Isn't
the
Darth
Force.
Revan showing? Isn't Keanu Reeves playing him in something, or is that like just something?
I have
That
no
was
idea.
a fan cast. That was like a fan cast.
Oh, okay. I thought I
'Cause-
heard something about like him showing up.
Revan is canonically a female, I think, in Knights of the Old Republic. So I don't think that would make sense, anyways.
Hmm.
I don't know if
Okay.
they've changed that, but in the games, I'm pretty sure she was canonically female.
Interesting.
Um,
But yeah, to Jason's point, just Old Republic, just go way before Luke Skywalker or Anakin Skywalker ever existed. Go back to the very beginning of the Jedi and just explore that. And I think that would be a great series.
Do you think
even
it's possible to do something like past the Skywalker, like after this, like set after the sequel series?
I
Or is
don't
it
know. I
too
think
late
they've.
now?
I think that they've ruined it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that if they do something after the sequel trilogy, and I know Daisy Ridley is coming back, and I'm not blaming her, but Rey as a character sucks.
Yeah.
I
She's coming
kinda
back.
wish-
Are they making another
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, they're
they're-
making
they're
another
making-
movie where she is going to be the. I believe she's a supporting character. It's not about her.
Yeah, but she's gonna be trying
But she's
to
gonna
rebuild
be
the
in it.
Jedi Order.
Yes, yes, she is coming back for another
They're-
movie. The only confirmed movies right now are Dave Filoni's next movie, which I believe Ahsoka is setting up.
Yeah, so it's been set up.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
something with the High Republic, and then there's
Taika Waititi has a. Oh, was that canceled?
I think the Taika Waititi one was canceled.
Okay, that one might have been canceled, and then there's the Ray one.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson has another trilogy. He's confirmed that it's still happening.
Yeah, he's confirmed that it's still happening, but it's in like limbo.
Yeah,
It's in this like limbo situation, which like let's be honest, I hope he doesn't get it back.
right.
Ryan Johnson,
Ryan
he's
Johnson.
great in anything else, but he's ruined Star Wars to me.
He's not great. He's not great in everything else. I mean, Glass Onion,
mean-
that was trash.
I
I
like
didn't
Glass
finish
Onion. Oh my god. I like
I didn't finish it. So if that says anything,
I-
You didn't finish it? Would you just get
No.
halfway through the movie and say, "All right, that's it"?
Yeah, I was like, I like Knives Out. I watched Glass Onion, and I'm like, oh, they're talking about Trump and freaking COVID. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't.
That's
care.
like the first 10 minutes.
I know.
You didn't even see the mystery. I like the ending of the mystery where it's like, actually, this guy's just like a rich dumbass. I kind of fuck with that, but yeah, I get
I
it.
cannot get into it. I cannot.
Yeah, so
I-
Ryan
I'm
Johnson
not a-
directed the 8th movie in Star
The
Wars.
Last Jedi.
The Last
Yes.
Jedi, yes.
I like the Last
Yeah.
Jedi. That's like, I guess that is one of my. I like the Last Jedi.
Visually
Last Jedi?
beautiful, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I think
can we
the
kick him
only
off the
thing that I
podcast for liking the Last Jedi?
the only thing in Last Jedi that I found myself really not enjoying was the casino thing. I didn't really have an issue.
That's like
with
a third of the
whole
movie.
I mean, hey. Everything else I enjoyed though. I liked, there wasn't like a "they fly now" scene, so that was kind of dope.
Oh, man.
That's true.
Has Marvel writing ruined Star Wars? Nah, Star Wars was always that corny. Star Wars was
Yeah,
always
Star
that
Wars.
corny.
Star Wars has always been corny.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
my
true.
favorite.
Star Wars is always. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say my favorite Star Wars line in history is in The Force Unleashed 2, when Darth Vader is the Star Killer.
I
He's like,
lied.
I lied. That's my favorite.
You promised. I lied.
You promised to stay away. I lied.
Yeah, Star Wars dialogue has always been corny. Like, I think like George Lucas thinks he's a smarter writer than he is, and I think that's
Yeah.
the entire original or prequel trilogy. Just him thinking he sounds really smart.
I honestly, I don't think the prequel trilogy is all that poorly written. I think people hate on it. I think people hate on the prequels now people are coming around to the prequels, but I've always thought the prequels have been overhated.
I mean, the prequels were never as bad as people said they were, but they're
Right.
not.
Yeah.
They still suck.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not-
still
I don't
bad
think it's not-
writing. It's not as bad as people saying it was.
yeah,
I
like
think
maybe
the
not
movies
suck,
are-
but they're still not that great.
I think they're entirely serviceable. They're good Star Wars. That's why I went in there. I was like, oh, this is good Star Wars. I was also like 6, so
That's
but
true. That's
I
true.
was like, this is great. I love this. Showing me Yoda doing more flips.
Yeah.
I love that, but I don't know. I just I think what Disney is doing really well in terms of Star Wars is the games. At least I
True.
feel like that's been like the most
True.
consistent part of Star Wars throughout history is they've always had pretty decent games.
Yeah.
But
Even if
two
the
EAs
even if the gameplay sucks.
even the gameplay sucks. What was the last Star Wars game that had really bad gameplay?
The new one that's coming out, whatever that one is, that's just going to be The Division again.
Oh, Outlaws.
Outlaws, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it kind of interests me. I don't care about playing as like a rogue in Star Wars. I want to play as a Jedi, but I can kind of see the appeal.
Yeah.
But the EA games, Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Fallen Order,
Hmm.
top tier.
Fantastic.
Probably, maybe the top 5 best Star Wars games ever. Because I put Force Unleashed 2 is my number 1. And then Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2 from like 05 is my number 2. So
I that's kind of like a thing that I'm curious about, because like the best Star Wars media has nothing to fucking do with the Skywalkers. So how can
That's
you
the
be
point.
like?
yeah,
So how can you be like, like we need the Skywalkers?
because
We don't.
let me tell you this. Let me kind of explain it this way. I'm gonna get crazy with it. I'm gonna make a Bible allegory. You know how Jesus is kind of like the main character of the New Testament, but he's barely
What
kind
do you
of
mean,
also
kind
in it.
of?
Yeah, kind of. But if you go to the New Testament, like Jesus is the main character of the story, but he's also barely in it because it talks all about the stuff that going on around Jesus too, like
Mhm.
the all of Roman
Star Wars
stuff.
isn't talking about the stuff going on around Jesus.
No,
it's
no, no.
talking about Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm thinking is, if you're gonna make the movies got to be about Jesus, but the games and all that extra content that can be about whatever else. I think my whole thing is the movies had to be about the Skywalkers. That's like your chosen one not showing up until the last second of your 5th trilogy.
But
of movies.
they suck. They're dead. Aren't like most of
No,
them
they
dead now?
don't. You're gonna sit here and tell me Anakin Skywalker sucks? You can
Yes,
sit here
he
and tell me
literally like destroyed the universe. Yes.
he brought balance to the Force, though.
No, he didn't.
He rose. Anakin Skywalker died and rose again on the 3rd day. You gonna tell me?
Anakin wanted to fuck. He wanted to fuck, and Mace Windu was like, "You can't do that." And then he was like, "I think I'm just gonna kill everybody now." That's what happened.
You telling me you take a child, raise them to be a warrior from the age they're like 6, and they're also highly emotionally unstable? You mean to tell me stuff like that will happen? Because it happened once in history in the 1930s.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just saying, you gotta make sure you take care of it.
But
Because Anakin went full
oh my
space Hitler.
goodness. My goodness. I mean,
Cut
to
that out,
Chikari,
cut that out.
let's get back to Chikari's point. I believe that the Skywalkers are not needed anymore. They're done. Let them be. No more deep faking Mark Hamill. Like I don't want to see Luke Skywalker come back. Like leave him
Oh.
be.
Isn't it kind of weird though? Because the most interesting part of Luke Skywalker's history we kind of don't know about, like everything, like him rebuilding his
Oh,
Jedi
because
Order
the most
that collapsed.
interesting part of Luke Skywalker's character is beating Darth Vader, and then he does. That's the most interesting part. He beat.
Well,
him
but
finding-
everything, but we don't know anything that comes after that because they like to tell everybody else's story who came after that. We know about what happened to Leia. We know about what happened to Han. We know about everybody else except for Luke. And we know he built the Jedi Order. We know it collapsed. How did he go about that? How did he go about?
We do
finding
know what
more
happened.
Force?
We know that he
Yeah.
tried to kill Kylo Ren, and then he was like, "Ah, that sucked. I hate being a Jedi now." Which, we know what happened to him.
I'm just talking about all the in between. I want to know the in between. I want to know the moment after the defeat of Vader and up until the moment he tries to kill his nephew in his sleep. So that's kind of what I.
Listen, if the Dark Horse stuff was still canon, I'd be all for that. But it's not. So it's just gonna be a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I fundamentally understand, but as a Star Wars fan, I want what I want.
Yeah, I get that. Sorry. What I was saying is, leave Luke Skywalker alone. Give me more Andor. Andor is hands down the best piece of Star Wars content that like Disney has made. It's so good. You have to try it, Jason. It is incredible writing. Like, oh man, the acting is incredible.
I still have not watched Rogue One or Andor. I know I need to.
Oh,
I just,
you
like,
need to. You have
gotten
to.
Don't do it.
You
Join
have
me
to.
in this
You
effort.
have
I have
to.
Disney Plus.
You have to join me in this effort of not watching Andor.
I'm not watching good media.
We only watch trash media around here.
It just gives you such a different perspective on what it's like to live in the Star Wars universe, that it's like fantastic. It's what does it look like to live in Star Wars if you're not a Jedi? And like,
I did see that one scene with Andy Serkis that looked pretty good.
there's a couple of them, but yeah.
When you said Andy Serkis, I was thinking of Army Hammer, who's like a cannibal or something like that.
That's true.
I was like, they put the cannibal
Armie
Yeah.
Hammer.
in the show? They put the cannibal in the show? I was a little confused for a second there. I remember who Andy Serkis was.
Yeah, I think like I know you're kind of leading the episode, but like
No,
if
no,
you
go
guys
ahead,
want
go
to
ahead.
get, because there's one project that I am looking forward to a lot.
Sure.
Lando. I don't know if it's gonna be. I think it's a movie now.
Yes,
but I'm
it has been
excited for
elevated
Lando.
to a movie.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why?
Why do we need
listen,
to know about
I-
Lando's backstory? Why? Why?
Listen, I
Why?
already said I like Solo.
You're
So-
wrong. You're wrong.
And I'm excited to see Childish Gambino play Lando. They told us it was going to happen like 3 years ago, and hopefully it's still happening. But yeah, I think Lando. I think there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Lando. I think he's cool. I think he's dope. I'm not. It's not going to be like the best Star Wars movie ever, but I think it'll be like a fun time.
They're gonna freaking make a whole movie about that guy who shows up for like 10 minutes in the original trilogy. And
They did that about Boba Fett. They did that for Boba Fett. Like,
Yeah, I don't like that show.
Boba Fett's cool. The show is
Yeah,
bad.
Boba Fett's cool.
The show is
Yeah, Boba Fett's
the show is I want to be a crime lord, but I don't want to do crime. But Boba Fett's
Fett,
cool.
first off, Boba Fett would have killed them all. in
Lando's
the
cool
spot.
too. Lando's cool. Boba Fett sucks.
Yeah,
He
Lando
gets eaten
is
by
cool.
like a giant like desert.
Lando's not.
Lando's not cool. Why not?
Lando's not.
What's the-
He's alright.
Okay.
He's alright at that.
Okay.
He
Let's-
is
You know
very
who- you
much
know who-
he is very much a supporting character.
Yeah, you know who's
Yeah,
really
for
cool?
sure.
Han Solo, because Han Solo is just a cooler Lando. We already have a George at home, and his name is Han Solo. We don't need
Oh
two
my-
Georges.
All right. Is there anything you're looking forward to, Jason?
Excuse me. The thing I'm looking forward to most is the third EA Jedi game, because
Right,
they have
just
officially
announced.
announced it. Yeah, that they've already started development on it. Super excited for that. I was excited for the KOTOR remake. There are now rumors saying that it's canceled. They freaking took down the trailer, like Sony took down the trailer from their website and everything. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I was excited for that. That's pretty much it. I'm interested in Star Wars Outlaws. I'll probably buy it, because I'm financially irresponsible. But I'm also probably not gonna like it. So,
Gotcha. Okay. I am looking forward to Andor season 2. I guess I'm the only one here that is. But I know they filmed
Is it
them back to
season
back.
two?
Yeah,
Don't they all die at the end?
well, the whole thing is Andor, like, it starts off giving you, like, season 1 is, like, showing how he joins the rebellion, and then season 2 is going to be,
Yeah.
like, from the rebellion, and they've promised that the last scene in season 2 will be the first scene of his in Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
why? Okay. Why? Why?
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
Okay.
Man.
Anything? Is it just Andor season 2 only thing? Or anything else?
I'm looking forward to the third Jedi game. I'm looking forward to Eclipse. I don't know what Eclipse is gonna actually be like, but that's another game that
They're
they've
saying it's
announced.
a real video game. They're saying it's not like a visual novel type thing, like
I mean,
just
I
Detroit. All that.
who knows? They announced it 2 years ago, and all they have
Yeah,
is the one trailer, and it's
yeah. I
just a
mean, it's not.
cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that trailer, I was like, this game is not coming out until 2027 at the earliest.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
yeah.
I am not looking forward to Ahsoka season 2. That's not going to be good. I'm not looking forward to
Are
the
we
next.
gonna do a season 2?
Yeah. Not
Doesn't it go
officially.
into the movie? Oh, okay.
Not officially. They have not announced it yet. Dave Filoni has said that he has planned it out, but they have not announced it yet.
What if it's to tie into the movie? What would he plan out? Look, I'm confused.
Maybe it comes out after the movie. Who knows?
I don't
We
care.
need a
about-
Jar Jar Binks movie. I'd
That's
watch
true.
the shit out of a Jar Jar
Ahmed
Binks movie.
Best. I love Ahmed Best. Bring him back. They
Should
I
already
feel
they-
bad
did.
for him, bro.
They already
They did him
did.
dirty, bro.
They should make
They
him.
did him
Bring
dirty
him
in Kenobi?
Yeah, he
I didn't
got a
watch
cameo in
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
He had a cameo in Kenobi. He got to be a
You
Jedi
think I
Master.
watched Kenobi? I didn't watch
Kenobi was
Andor, but I
trash.
watched Kenobi.
No, hey, whoever wrote Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know the writer's strike is over. You don't deserve your job back. I ain't not gonna lie to you. You don't deserve
Deborah
your job
Chow,
back.
she needs to be fired.
She needs to be fired. You shouldn't be allowed to write Star Wars ever.
I think I got like an episode in, and I was like, "Is this story really just gonna be about him like trying to find Leia or some shit like that?" Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So this is an important question.
Uh-huh.
Should we just be able to indict people? Just go for it. Because you need to be indicted. I don't
Should
want
be able to indict people on lack of creative talent.
Yeah, you need to be indicted straight to jail. Straight to jail. But
Okay.
the bond set at $1 million.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh, Jason, before we move on, I just want to say Ahsoka is literally 100% fan service, and Dave Filoni needs to put down his toys.
Let me open my notebook.
Okay, let's talk.
All right, let's talk.
Shibari,
Here is.
I know you haven't seen it, but we'll try to keep this brief. But Jason and I do need to talk about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
This
for
is
sure,
my
for
quick
sure.
rundown thoughts of Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
After the eighth episode, I sat and rewatched like at 3 times speed, kind of everything. The show starts weak. And
You watched that 3
weak.
times speed, you got just as much information.
Yeah.
'Cause
The show-
it's devoid of 2/3 of its
Yeah,
quality.
Yeah, the show started weak and ended weak. The middle was the most interesting part, and then they immediately kind of stopped doing it. It ultimately exists as an intro for a movie that I'm probably not gonna watch because the show failed to make me care. It's
What
poorly
movie
shot.
is it?
Dave
The
Filoni
Dave
said that
Filoni
he's got a movie. It's going to be about Thrawn and something else. Who knows?
It's gonna involve the whole Mando verse and all that.
Yeah.
It's kind of whack.
Mandalorian's going to come back and he's going to shoot Thrawn in the forehead. And that's going to be the end of the movie.
This is for glassing the planet, he says.
Mozambican.
He's gonna hit him with that Call of Duty Desert Eagle just right in the forehead. It's poorly shot, has some of the worst fight choreography I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
The set
fantastic.
design leaves much to be imagined, or at least much to be seen. The set design sucks. It tried to become like a old Akira Kurosawa samurai film and failed to realize what made those films great. Yeah. And this is very important. Lightsabers are 360 degrees. They are not katanas. Why do they keep using lightsabers like they are katanas? You can fight in multiple directions with them. Also, the scene that bothers me the most is when Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka are fighting all the zombie troopers, and they're deflecting the blasters, and Ahsoka is just going, blocking blasts. People are not
I
getting-
appreciate Rosario Dawson doing all of her own fight choreography, but at some point you're like, if you're not going to put in the effort, maybe we should bring in a stunt double.
Honestly, let me add that to the list. The show is devoid of, what did you say? show is devoid of energy.
Yeah.
It's just, why make it if you're gonna put half-ass it? If you're not gonna put in any effort, why even make the fucking show?
They're making a
Sorry,
movie.
is it K first now?
Yeah.
How far are we
That's the whole
into
the whole reason of the show is to explain why Thrawn returns, even though at the end of Rebels it's like, yay, we've killed Thrawn, but then Disney's like, yo, Dave, you want more money? And he's like, oh, I'll bring back Thrawn.
Yeah, here's what I
Did you
really
guys
wanted.
finish Rebels? Actually, no.
I have finished Rebels.
Okay.
I did not enjoy
I
it.
don't care.
Yeah,
Made it like halfway through.
yeah, I couldn't.
The character design of that whole show makes me upset.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't hate the art style.
Oh,
I'm
do.
sorry, but you felt that way.
Are we
But-
talking about Marvel now? Because I
Yeah,
have so
we're
many opinions.
moving on to Marvel. This week, or I guess by the time this comes out, it's a couple weeks old now. But Loki just came out. Did both of you guys see it?
Oh, of course.
Of course,
I was
saw
there
it as
day
well.
one.
Yeah, by far the best Marvel content that Disney's put out on Disney
Yeah,
Plus.
it eclipses. I liked Hawkeye a lot. This show is so quality.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I loved Hawkeye, but this show is like, I need to look up
Yeah.
who's on the creative team because whoever's doing this is clearly like a step above what everybody else is doing. Like
Right.
I don't know what the creative like. I watched this episode and I was like, the acting is better, the writing is better, the set design is better, the CGI is better. Like everything they're doing in Loki is like everything else is here. Loki's right here. Like it's ridiculous how the gap in quality.
That's because
Oh,
they
yeah.
hired real good actors for Loki. You have Tom Hiddleston and freaking Owen Wilson. You actually have decent actors compared to some random.
I mean, Paul
nobody.
Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen. There's nothing to scoff at. But like Scarlet Witch still.
I've
was
never
whatever.
seen them in anything outside of Marvel that has ever interested me. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm the only person who I've seen in stuff outside of Marvel content that I've enjoyed was Florence Pugh, Christian Bale, and I don't even know, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
those
enjoyed her in
Jr.
Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah,
Robert
I
Downey
haven't seen
Jr.?
Oppenheimer yet. I haven't seen
Oh.
Oppenheimer yet.
Have you seen Oppenheimer yet? Have you seen Barbie?
No. I did see Barbie against my
Okay.
will.
I'll give
My
you-
girlfriend made me go
Don't
see
say
that.
against your will because it's a good movie.
No, it was against my will. It was against my will. My girlfriend was like, "Oh, it's our anniversary. What movie do you want to go watch?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to watch Blue Beetle." And she said, "No, we're watching Barbie." So yeah, it was against my will.
Okay, the only thing I have to say about the acting is I agree the acting is fantastic. It's just what I don't know how to say his name, but is it Ke-Huy Quan? The actor
Obi?
from Obi from
Everything, everywhere, all at once, and the Goonies.
and
Yeah.
the Goonies. That's
And-
right.
and
And
who made-
Indiana Jones. He
no.
played Short Round.
Yeah, he plays. Oh yeah, Andy, yeah.
He was overacting.
Really? I thought he was hilarious.
I thought he was.
I thought
playing
he was
his
funny.
character very well.
But I thought he was overacting. And I'm like, I understand that he's got a whole bunch of hype because of Everything Ever All at Once. And I saw all the people like tweeting on Instagram, be like, oh, he stole the show. And I agree that he did a very funny character. But I think he was doing a little bit too much overacting.
Oh, Tom
I-
Hiddleston is who steals the show. he is great.
Yeah,
I
I mean, go.
go ahead, Chikari. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say I liked Obi a lot. I thought he did I think he's playing an eccentric character, so I think when with any eccentric character that line is always a little bit, hard to ride and can be like, I kind of think it goes person to person because there's people who say Joaquin Phoenix and Joker crazy overacting. So
Right. Right.
So I think it's like I think with eccentric characters like that it goes person to person, but I enjoyed it a lot. I think he was like awesome. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Jason?
I was thinking about this last night because I rewatched episode 1. Do you guys think that Loki is just getting all the budget so that the other shows don't get any budget? That's
No.
how I
No.
Loki had a lower budget than Secret Invasion. And
Yeah,
Loki
that's
had
what I
zero
like,
Loki had zero reshoots. That's insane. It's the first Marvel production to require no reshoots.
That's
Yeah, dude.
crazy.
Like
Because the
Loki
filmmaking
is like-
quality is off the chart, and just the first few shots is way better than anything
yeah.
else you're doing.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like Loki. I was gonna say Loki's pretty sure had a smaller budget than like most of the TV shows they've been making. Like, wasn't it lower than Scarlet Witch, whatever that show's called too, like
Yeah,
WandaVision?
WandaVision.
WandaVision?
Like, yeah, like this show, like it's. I don't know. It's just like a step above. I don't know, and I don't know why. Like, I do not know why this show is a step above
Let's look up
because
who
it
wrote it.
shouldn't be.
Let's
Like,
look
it
up.
really shouldn't be. I don't think. Like, I feel like, like once again, I said I liked Hawkeye. Like, I liked like
Right.
outside of Loki, Hawkeye's like the only other show that I think I've like really enjoyed. I like Moon Knight too, but Moon Knight was kind of just like
Moon Knight was
wasn't
good
as
for the first
Hawkeye, though.
episode.
Yeah,
As
Moon Knight
somebody
definitely
who
wasn't as
really
good as
liked,
Hawkeye.
as somebody who really liked the character of Moon Knight, that show made me very upset.
Right. Right. And I've had conversations with other people who have like really expressed like disinterest in seeing Moon Knight again because they just completely ruined his character.
Completely ruined his character. It's
Yeah.
like my biggest complaint with this is just as general is that it's like they don't know what makes these characters good, so they just make their own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very, very, very.
But what else? What other shows has Disney Plus put out?
Miss Marvel.
Right, Miss Marvel,
WandaVision.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
True.
What else is there?
Jesus Christ! What is that? It? There has to be more,
She-Hulk.
right? I didn't watch She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was bad. She-Hulk was bad.
I didn't watch Miss Marvel either.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy Winter Christmas Special, whatever they call
That's
it.
true.
That was fun. That was fun.
I just looked this up, but the guy who wrote is a producer and writer for Loki. He's written 7 episodes of it. Was also a writer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which was not that good of a
No.
movie.
No.
Yeah.
But he was also a producer on the 2019. What season is that of Rick and Morty's 2019 into 2020 season? So what season was that? Like season 5
I have no
or
idea.
season 2? That was like season 2.
No idea. I don't have a high
No,
IQ. I can't watch Rick and Morty.
So like, because season 2 of Rick and Morty was still when the show didn't suck ass yet. But I can only assume it's like Marvel interference then, because he's clearly like, that's the only thing that makes sense. It's just Marvel being like, hey, do this, and this, and it also has to set up this thing and do that. That's the only thing that makes sense, because Loki should not be this much better than every other show.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know this will interest you, Chikari. He was production staff and the writer's assistant on Community, and he was an executive producer of the TV show Heels, which is about wrestling. So
Well, he got
Oh.
canceled.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
know
no.
that. I just found out about that show right now. So
Oh no.
It's got Stephen Amell.
Punk's show is canceled.
Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, they canceled CM Punk's show. Oh my god. What am I gonna do?
It's also got Stephen Amell from Arrow, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably
But yeah, look, I don't know, man. The quality is just like, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
only
the
thing that makes
quality's
sense is Marvel just
significantly
being,
better.
yeah, like, I go back and watch, like, I keep going back to Hawkeye, because Hawkeye is the only other show like I really enjoyed. I'm just like, even this, like, it feels like these are just from being produced by 2 different companies. Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, are you excited for Daredevil Born Again?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. I
God.
like every single like rumor or thing I hear about, not even just like any Marvel project, it makes me so much more disinterested. Like
Yeah.
I hear about the rumors about what happening with Born Again or whatever the Daredevil show is called. I hear the rumors about fucking the Deadpool movie, about Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, and I'm just like, this all sounds like dog ass. Like,
know
this
what?
doesn't sound good.
my whole thing is I feel like this is like guerrilla marketing that Marvel is doing, where they're pushing up these terrible rumors so they can see, because the general audience is gonna go like, oh my god, Chris Evans showed back up as the freaking Human Torch. Oh my god, and everybody else is gonna be like, this sucks. Why is he back?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
they're like,
like-
they're appealing to that crowd of people, the bare minimum. They don't care about Marvel doesn't care about real comic book fans anymore. They don't care.
Yeah.
They make too much money to care.
One
So
could argue they never did.
Iron Man.
I think Jon Favreau
Iron Man.
does.
Yeah, I think Jon Favreau does. Yeah, I thought who was the director who did Avengers and Age of Ultron? What was his name? The one who was like
Joss Whedon?
who went out.
The
Yeah,
Russo
Joss
brothers?
No, just Joss Whedon. I think
Joss
Joss
Whedon.
Whedon cared, but he turned out to be like
Oh yeah.
a terrible person. So
Turned out to be a
He's like a
terrible person
weirdo.
and a very odd man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
he
got
made
the
Buffy the
truth.
Vampire Slayer. That's all you need to know about that.
Buffy was good though.
Yeah, but he's a little bit creepy, man. He was a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, he's definitely a weirdo. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I just like I remember seeing this rumor about like how and once again, this is a rumor. There's no confirmed, but it's just like just hearing it, like I just like don't care, like because it's just like what like I hear about like Tobey Maguire being a part of like Secret Wars, and I'm just like, dude,
Yeah, but he might become the
This
main
is like-
Spider-Man and replace.
yes,
I'm like,
Like-
I don't know.
it's just like the laziest possible thing you could be doing right now, and it's just like especially with the Deadpool movie because I feel like the Deadpool stuff we're hearing
Yeah.
is close to, especially with the set. I just like is Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe even that popular of a story? Like,
Yes, and
you
it
brought
was.
back Hugh.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was.
it-
Yeah, it
yes.
was.
Yeah,
Was
it was.
it?
That's
Okay.
what
It was
really
a very popular
introduced-
story.
That's what introduced Deadpool to the mainstream of media, of like
Really?
mainstream media.
I
Yeah.
guess because I always knew about Deadpool, so it wasn't.
That's what
really a big
introduced me to
thing for me.
Deadpool. I saw that,
Mm.
and then he showed up like 3 years later in X-Men Origins, right? I don't know, maybe 2 years after that comic
Maybe.
demo. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is who Deadpool is. They ruined him in X-Men Origins, but
Right.
that comic was super.
Yeah.
That and Marvel Zombies was really important to building up
Didn't
Deadpool's character.
Robert Kirkman did those, right?
I don't
He
know.
did just do zombies, I think.
I think
don't know.
he just did the zombies. I don't.
Yeah, I think he just did zombies. Yeah, but even with that being stated, like you're bringing Logan, top 5, possibly top 3 superhero movie ever, and you're bringing him back for what is essentially a dumb fucking joke. Come on now, man.
Right.
Like there's no other storyline you could have done that like required you to bring back Logan for even something that was slightly a little bit more
What?
serious.
That Disney
didn't he
money.
try to
That Disney
introduce-
money hit Hugh's bank account, and he said, "All right."
Yes, dude, and he was. I remember him after Logan being like, "I'm done." Last appearance, and he's like, I remember
He
when
said
he
he'd
was
only
first
come back
announced.
if it was good.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what he
was
said.
when he was first announced. He was like, we're not gonna touch the Logan stuff. But it's like you just being back is touching the Logan stuff. Like that was
Is
supposed
it
to
because
be
Logan
it.
takes place in the future?
Yeah.
Like,
Logan takes place in the
doesn't
future.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's-
matter though because it's not gonna be the last time anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't. Yeah.
Speaking of
Logan's
taking
one of my
place in the
favorite
future,
movies.
you know what is interesting? The month of October, which is when this episode comes out, is apparently the same. October 2023 is the same month that the events of Avengers Endgame takes place. So we have almost caught
That's
up to the
fine.
MCU's timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Do they even know what fucking year it is in the movies anymore? Probably not.
No.
There's
No.
somebody
Yeah, very
who
fucking
knows, but they don't care anymore. It used to be important.
Yeah.
Remember when the MCU felt like it was really a connected universe?
Yeah.
Now it just feels like,
Yeah.
oh, now all these random stuff is just happening.
I think the
Yeah, you
time
guys-
travel stuff, like, it fucked it. It was like as soon as there are like multiple realities, timelines,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it
Oh,
all.
it
fucked
ruins anything.
But then we
It
wouldn't
ruins
get Loki.
Yeah.
I feel like
think
you can
Loki-
still
I
do
think you
Loki.
could still do Loki. You could still do Loki because Loki's like an isolated instance of time travel, not like it's affecting the entire like world. You know, I feel like at least.
Yeah, a Loki show could be him traveling the multiverse, trying to keep the multiverse in check on the sacred timeline. But like the Avengers movie, first off, can we talk about how there's like 5 or 6 different versions of universal travel in the MCU?
Yeah.
There's like the Doctor Strange stuff, then there's the TVA, then there's the quantum realm, all of this
I mean,
stuff.
that's comic.
And
That's comics in general, though, so that's not like a big deal.
That's true.
that is comics in general, but you know what? For your product that's supposed to be for the general audience, maybe don't do that. You know? Maybe make it easier to
Yeah,
understand.
man. Yeah. I agree
Like
with
how
that.
Hulk's son just showed up. That you want to talk about complete fan service, Alex? Hulk's son just showing up,
Bringing in
with no
Scar.
build up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yes.
no.
And they
no
announced
build-up.
they're doing a World War Hulk movie now.
after
That doesn't
after
make.
he's left the planet and has been destroyed.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
sense does it make?
What is he angry about? What would he be angry about?
He's like, this one night stand I had 7 years ago is dead, and now I'm gonna blow up the planet.
I don't. That doesn't even make sense. What would he be angry about? The whole point is that he's pissed that they sent him to this fucking planet, and then once he was like finally like okay there, they killed his family, and like what is he gonna be mad at now?
You just,
Oh, I'm
it's
really
gonna have
mad
to
Scarlet
do
Witch
to
is
it.
dead.
You know what's probably gonna do? They're probably just calling it World War Hulk, but it's probably really gonna be about the Red Hulk putting his Red Hulk stuff all over the planet, and now there's Hulk versions of all the heroes. It's probably gonna do something dumb like that rather than follow the actual storyline, because that's what the MCU does now. That's what they do now.
Yeah.
They just
But
make up their own.
now we're gonna
version
get
of that.
Harrison Ford to play Red Hulk. That's so exciting.
You don't want to see.
I'm
You want to
so
see Harrison Ford?
excited. Yes.
I'm
I
so
want to see
excited for
Harrison Ford bring
yeah.
his absolute lack of care towards any production he's a part of toward the MCU.
He's not giving.
Harrison
There is
Ford-
no way Harrison Ford gives a single fuck, or he has.
He doesn't.
I doubt he has a single fucking clue what character he's even playing.
You
Oh,
know what?
yeah.
I bet it's probably like a contract thing. It's like, hey, you want to make Indiana Jones 5? You got to show up in our Marvel stuff too.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
he
probably
wanted
I
to
don't
make
think it's
Indiana
that.
Jones 5.
I think they just.
I
I think they just
think
paid
he
him a
got-
lot of money. They were just like, hey, Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
we'll pay you a lot of money to make another Indiana Jones movie, and we'll also pay you a lot of money to play this dumb bullshit character that nobody likes.
The-
Whoa! I like Lee Everett Ross. You calm it down.
Yeah, I like Everett Ross too. But I think the funniest thing is the one defining feature of Everett Ross is the mustache. In every single picture that we've seen of Harrison Ford on set, he's not wearing a mustache. He did
Hey,
not
no.
care.
It was Michael Ironside was his original actor who passed away, right?
Yes.
Yeah, rip to
Yeah.
Michael Ironside because he looked like General Ross.
Yeah, he
It
did.
at least seemed like he cared. At least it seemed like he at least in the Incredible Hulk movie, which I love a lot. I think it gets too much hate. He cared, obviously. Like,
Right.
there's no way that Harrison Ford gives a single fuck about this movie.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. One of my favorite
I-
interviews with
I-
Harrison Ford is when they ask him who'd win in a fight, Indiana Jones or Han Solo, and his response is, "I don't care."
Whichever one pays me more.
Yeah, I think honestly, like everything I hear about Brave New World, like it just encapsulates like how little like it seems like anybody gives a fuck about where Marvel is going.
Yeah.
Like it just like I hear like, did you guys hear about how Blade is being rewritten for a third time?
Oh
It's
my god.
fucking Blade. Just have him fight vampires. Like
Dude,
it's not hard.
It's so crazy. You know, we have 3 really good Blade movies that came out in the
We
early
have one
2000s.
really good Blade movie.
You calm down. You calm down.
We have one
We have
really good Blade
3.
movie,
We have
one
3.
okay Blade movie, and one really bad Blade movie.
We have 3. We have 3 good Blade movies. I will not tolerate this disrespect much longer.
Okay.
Blade Trinity is great.
Blade Trinity is not good. Do not listen to him. It is not a good movie.
All right, I'm
Okay, is there any Marvel stuff that you guys are looking forward to?
Jesus Christ.
Spider-Man 2, the video game. That's it.
Spider-Man 2. True, that's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
You know,
about
I
it.
would say Spider-Man 2. I think the Wolverine game. I think that we haven't seen much about it, but it's still.
True.
Yeah, I feel like Wolverine's a great video game character. You know.
Mhm.
Isn't that
Slash
great?
supports
Isn't it
him.
crazy how that game is coming out next year too?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Insomniac. They are freaking pumping out video games. They pumped out a video game every 2 years since 2014. I want to say.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
2014. Because they had something.
Jeez.
2014. Yeah, 2014 they had Sunset Overdrive. Then 2016 was Ratchet and Clank reboot. 2018 was Spider-Man. 2020 was Spider-Man Miles Morales. 21 was the Ratchet and Clank sequel. They're going crazy.
yeah.
Let them cook.
Yeah.
Let them cook.
I'm trying to think of like. I wish I could. I do legitimately wish I could say like there's a Marvel project that I used to be excited about Blade, but as I've just said, it's being
Yeah.
rewritten for the third time, so there's no way. And I love Marshall Ali; he's a fantastic actor, but like, there's nothing they are doing that feels exciting.
I
And
had
not even,
heard he
like,
was
it doesn't-
threatening to step away from the project.
He should have,
Yeah,
because there's no
they
way a Blade
can't-
movie should need to be written 3 times.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? It probably had a lot to do with the Eternals. Eternals bombed because the Eternals suck. just like the Inhumans. The Inhumans suck. So they're like, oh my god, we need to rewrite this movie because nobody cares about this. If we were trying to tie in the Black Knight, nobody cares about the Black Knight. Nobody cares.
Well, I
about
mean,
the
the Black Knight is like he's like a he fights monsters too. So like I think that's like the tangential relation between those characters. Like he fights like creatures of the night, if you will, or whatever. So
The Black Knight is so unimportant. He's not even in the Midnight Suns video game. Who has that Nico girl? It has Nico Moreno. No one cares about her. They could even include him. So it's like nobody cares about these characters. Same way I'm not gonna watch Werewolf by Night. Nobody cares about Werewolf by Night. I don't care how
it was
great
good
it
though.
was.
That was
whatever.
good.
Werewolf by Night was good.
I don't care.
Why they're
But nobody
releasing a
cares.
full color version, I don't know. There's no need for it.
Yeah, it's almost like the whole point.
It's
was
because
that
they
it was
have
in black
nothing
and
to
white.
put. They have nothing to put in the Halloween slot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's why.
like
I don't know.
I wish there was something I was
Um,
excited about.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Michael Giacchino, who directed Werewolf by Night, he's also doing like his next project is a Man-Thing project, which I think is gonna be interesting.
I'm not against that.
How is the Man Thing gonna fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Does it have to?
Well, I don't think
I-
everything needs to.
Y-
I think that's
Okay.
the biggest problem that Marvel has right now. They're trying
No,
to fit everything into this they fit everything, and it can't. Trying to set up another gigantic saga immediately after you end one was a terrible idea. Like they should if you want it to start. Like I said, I think Loki can still exist. I think everything they're doing with Loki still has a place. But saying, okay, new major arc with Kang, here we go. And basically telling everybody that's what you're doing was a mistake. I think for a few movies, they could have just been like, here are these character stories. Spider-Man 3 did not need to be a multiverse story. It would have been better off if it wasn't. Doctor
Right.
Strange, is it Doctor Strange 2 or 3? 2, I think it's 2, did not
Yeah.
need to be a multiverse story. None of these movies have needed to be multiverse movies. It was a terrible idea to start hinging your universe around that, all just so that you can have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up. They don't need to. None of these
Right.
characters have needed to be there. It was just a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I've talked to my dad about this, and I was like, the way I thinking, if we got 1 or 2 years of just tying up loose ends. So tying up the loose end of Doctor Strange 1, tying up the loose ends of, Spider-Man, kind of doing
Yeah.
that. And then we got 2 years of that. But then in the next movie, you start seeing in the background, kind of like how the original movies were. In the
Yeah.
background, oh, Kang is planning this. We don't even know who Kang is yet. But
Yeah.
he's moving, he's planning this. He's
Yeah.
there's
That's literally what they just did with
encouragement going on
Thanos.
yeah, just
Yep.
what they did with Thanos. All the incursions happening, and then we get 2 movies where Kang shows up. He shows he's the big bad. We get to have all these cameos. So it's, oh my god, it's Tobey Maguire coming back, and he's like a 6-armed Spider-Man. Or 4-armed Spider-Man, and he's like evil, dark Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because you know
Do
what
we
game
even know,
did that whole...
Oh, sorry.
A game that did that whole multiverse stuff really well, Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1. The way they did the multiverse in both those movies, where it's like, oh yeah, here's these characters from these different universes or different places in time. Oh, here's a female Johnny Cage. You get to go beat her up. And it's really interesting. It all kind of just happens naturally without feeling like I'm being pandered to as an audience. Like they have to explain everything to me.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
With the MCU, Doctor Strange 2 could have easily just been them finishing what they set up in Doctor Strange 1 with Baron Mordo trying to kill all magic users, which is a plot they've essentially just said, fuck,
Right.
who cares?
Right.
It could have just
Yeah.
had, yeah.
Yeah, they said who cares in such a way where they filmed the scene where Wanda just kills him and then they cut it out
Yeah.
because they're like, we don't care to
Who
show you
cares?
this.
Yeah, who fucking cared? I know we set him up like he was going to be a big bad, but
Yeah.
we were just like, actually, who fucking cares? It's fucking Baron Mordo. Who cares? And then same with fucking Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 could have been about you could have just done you could have had your own Green Goblin, or at least set it up.
Right.
You didn't need, and especially if going to adapt the shittiest
yeah.
Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man trilogy from the beginning was flawed because there's no Uncle Ben.
They made the
They
same
have
movie
missed.
twice.
They did.
I would have preferred to see Uncle Ben die each movie.
Yeah, I need to have.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to be like really intense and gory. I want to see Uncle Ben get blown away with a shotgun. The first time.
Yeah, it's not, they're not replaying the same scene every movie. They refilm it entirely.
It's a new death scene. That's a good usage of the multiverse. That's what they should have done in Across the Spider-Verse.
bro, in Across the Spider-Verse, they had a scene where
What's
Uncle
my
Ben
canon
getting
event? And it's
shot.
just 30 minutes of Uncle Ben's death.
Yeah, the Uncle Ben dying every 2 seconds. That would be
But
hilarious.
yeah, I don't know, man. The MCU's like, I think if we're talking about the general future of the MCU,
Right.
I'm not excited. Like,
No.
there's
No.
nothing to look forward to. Like, they dug themselves into a hole that they can't get out of. They make Kang look like a bitch in his like first real appearance. Which, can you imagine if they had like Thanos show up in like Captain America and then Captain America just beat him?
Yeah.
Why do I care? Why do I care?
Yeah, Kang. How are we supposed to be scared of Kang if Kang got beat by Ant-Man?
Right.
Yeah.
Ant-Man sucks.
Ant-Man's cool. Well, Ant-Man does not suck. The character is cool.
He beats his wife and then doesn't do anything important for the
No,
next 40 years.
that's Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket beats his wife, not
Okay,
Ant-Man.
who is the same person?
They're not the same person. No,
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym is only Yellow Jacket when he's sad. When he's happy, he's Ant-Man. There's a complete difference.
He wakes
when
up.
he feels
He
like
wakes up and he walks into his closet. And he goes, "How am I feeling today?" He's got red on one side, yellow on the other.
Yeah, you already know.
But today is the moment I beat my wife.
Yeah. Like
He's going
Like
black
that-
suit
yeah.
Spider-Man. I know.
the argument I keep hearing from people in defense of like why Kang losing isn't a big deal because it's a variant, but it's like it's not the point. Like even if they do a story, that was just a variant of Kang. Kang is supposed to be this intimidating figure. If one variant of Kang sucks so much that Ant-Man can kind of trick him into beating him, like what does that say about the other Kangs?
Right.
Like they're just assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Kang has never outright straight up just lost a fight in the comics.
Yeah.
As,
I don't
yeah,
think I don't think he's ever straight up just lost. He's always been able to finagle his way out of it,
Yeah.
or his like loss sets up his future plan, because he's a character who exists outside of time. That's like his whole thing. He knows how it's gonna go before it even starts. It's all part of his grand plan.
If
Right.
they wanted to do that with setting up Kang, they could have just because they're already setting up the Young Avengers. Just have Iron Lad show up. Just have if you want to start sowing the seeds of Kang, bring in Iron Lad. Be like, hey, here is this guy. Because most people don't know who the fuck Iron Lad is. They're just gonna be like, oh, this is this other guy, and dun dun dun, he's actually Kang in the future. And like, I think that would have been a great way to introduce the character. You know,
Yeah.
like instead of just like
Yeah.
having him lose to Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, I wish they didn't have all the multiple variants of Kang. I wish they just focused on the main three, or the main four. Right? There's Kang, Iron Lad,
Ramatut.
Ramatut, and Mortis. Those should have been the only Kangs we know about. Having the whole multiverse of Kangs, while it's cool, it was a cool scene and all that, kind of undermines him, because how can Kang be so powerful if he allows himself to exist in the millions? Right? It's like,
I mean, wasn't that the whole point of the He Who Remains though? Like I'm actively culling the Kangs.
yeah, but okay. The Ant-Man movie, if he's actively calling all of them, and then the Ant-Man movie takes place like what, 2 months before you mean to tell me now there's a million universes? Because Loki,
Actually, like,
Loki
we don't-
starts.
We don't
right
know when
where
it takes
Loki-
place. We don't know when Loki
We don't
takes
know-
place, right?
We don't know when
No,
anything
Loki
takes
takes place. The first season of Loki, he's picked up in 2013. Like he's picked up in that 2013 moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where Loki's from.
But they also say that
Well,
time
when-
exists differently in the TVA.
Yeah, but when are the events of the show Like they haven't told us when the events of the show
Well, I assume
are
that
like
this
happening.
Well, the TV is like this thing where it exists outside of time. I'm talking about the moment.
No, I
Marvel
know,
has
but
Yeah,
like
yeah, but
in general, like when does the show take place? I'm not talking
Oh,
about
okay.
inside the context of
Okay,
the show,
I'll
outside of it.
the-
We don't know when
the
it
moment-
happens.
The moment where it takes place is the moment the timeline breaks down, and but with, like when He Who Remains dies and the timeline starts splitting off, is the same moment in No Way Home where they first try to do the spell, and all the other variants flow into the main.
so the
MCU
first season of
universe.
Loki
That-
starts in 2012 and then ends in 2023.
Yeah. Well, once he no, so he starts in 2012. That's no, okay.
Okay.
The time period Loki is from is the 2012 time period.
Yes.
And
The
then he goes
TVA
to
exists
the TVA, which is outside of time.
Yeah.
which is outside of time. These TVA exists at all points in time at once.
Right.
But because the TVA exists outside of time, and you kill the guy who was controlling it, from that moment, when that moment happened, it lined up with No Way Home and that first spell. That's how it was explained.
How
That's
does the
how
Wanda shit happen though? Because can she just do that?
that
She
that,
just
that
do
happened at the same time as No Way. So that was supposed to happen at the same way time as No Way. Or no, WandaVision happens first. Like WandaVision is like the first thing that happens after. No,
Right.
Far From Home technically is the first thing that happens after Endgame.
This is confusing
But
as fuck.
It is.
This is the
It is.
problem.
Yeah,
This is what time
this
travel
is
stories
as
this
fuck.
is the point. I don't
This is
think
what
we need
time
to go
travel
into the pedantics of
Yeah, the point is it's confusing and
Yeah.
like and everything you're saying is based on assumption too. So like,
Right.
not saying that you're wrong.
Well,
but
no,
it's just
that's
assumption.
what Marvel said. That's what
Yeah,
Marvel said.
When did
And
Marvel
it
say
doesn't
that?
make sense. I'll pull it up.
'Cause as
Alright.
far as I know, Marvel has never confirmed timeline for shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's like this is just the problem that nobody like
Yeah.
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
And so I think the consensus with Disney's state on Marvel is that Disney is just they need to figure something out, right?
Yeah, they have these sprawling properties that they seem to have no idea. They only know how to come up with ideas that are self-serving. Like
Yeah.
this idea will make the most money. They have no ability to come up with. Or, I don't even know because Loki's good, so I just don't know what it is. Like they just, I guess they're just more overbearing with some properties, like and then with some other because maybe like with Andor and Loki, it's just they're not as overbearing with those as they are with other properties. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just it, man.
Okay. Moving on real quick. We're well over an hour now, but I do want to talk just a little bit about the rest of Disney. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think Disney has everything else figured out that's not Star Wars or Marvel? I personally don't think so.
I don't think that Disney knows what they're doing themselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean-
Pixar's been pretty mid for a while, so
Yeah, Pixar's been terrible. I mean, Lightyear was atrocious. I just watched Haunted Mansion the other day. Like, terrible. I don't know. Like, all Disney's doing is reboots or, like,
yeah.
just continuing sequels to absolute oblivion. Like, Disney's
Yeah.
announced they're working on Frozen 3. I mean, do we need a Frozen 3?
Yeah.
I don't think we need
Announced,
to-
announced Tron 3, but it's gonna be with Jared Leto, so
Yeah.
that fucking blows.
Exactly.
And I love Tron Legacy so much, and you're just
Dude,
you're
I love Tron Legacy, and nobody understands it. It's great.
They should have just made a sequel for Tron Legacy, but they said
Yeah.
like actually, at first they were like fuck that, and now like a decade later when nobody cares, like we're gonna do it with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
They're still doing their live action remakes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have,
They're doing well.
have
And
any of the live action ones been good? Like everyone hated Lion King. Everyone
they
Lion
make
King.
money, but nobody likes it.
Yeah.
yeah.
They make money purely off of nostalgia and the new generation of kids who didn't grow up with the originals. So it's all
Yeah.
their parents going like, "Oh, I really like this when I was a kid. Let me take my kids." And then that's how all those movies have made their
But
money. 'cause
even
they're
then,
not
I feel
good.
our parents not. I feel like maybe that's just me and my little brother, but my brother enjoys the animated movies far more. Like I feel like
Yeah.
he has such a bigger emotional reaction to the animated ones than I've seen half to the live action ones.
Sure.
Well, I'm saying these kids haven't seen the animated ones. They don't know anything
Okay.
about it.
Makes
So
sense.
the first time they see Lion King is the CGI crap,
Yeah,
but their
that's true.
parents are the ones who grew up on the old stuff. I mean, that's what Disney does, and can we blame them? Because look at what Warner Brothers has been doing. I think what Barbie and Oppenheimer did good, but Blue Beetle is a box office bomb. Flash, I don't think Flash made back money. And it
Mhm.
made back money was very little.
Yeah. it did.
Yeah, Aquaman is projected to be a terrible
Oh,
flop.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm excited
Shazam-
as hell for Aquaman.
I'm excited for Aquaman.
Dude,
I watched that first trailer and I said, "This is going to be terrible."
I
No way.
haven't seen a single Aquaman movie, and I refuse to watch them. I'll watch them if I'm like on a plane or something. But
I like the first Aquaman movie. The only thing I don't like is at the end it just becomes giant CG battle, which is
I
unfortunate.
heard the first
Oh,
one
that's
was
what all
pretty good.
superhero
Yeah, first one's pretty
movies
good.
turn into.
But I mean, to Tricari, to answer your question, in my own opinion, you asked what is the like, or has Disney made any good live action reboots? I think the only one that I think is good in my own opinion is Peter Pan and Wendy. I think that one's pretty good.
I didn't even know there
I
was a
didn't even
Peter
know
Pan and Wendy one.
It's got Jude Law. He plays Captain Hook.
Really? I'm gonna check that out. Does Maleficent count? Because I like the first Maleficent, but
Maleficent was the first one that they did. That was what started
was
all.
it?
I thought they did
Okay.
Cinderella first.
Yeah, I thought.
Let me look.
I don't know if
was
Maleficent. Yeah, I know. I like Maleficent, so I don't know if that counts
Okay.
or not. But
Yeah.
Maleficent was 2014.
Oh, they're also working on Cruella 2 for whatever reason. Because
I
who
like
doesn't
the
want
first Cruella movie.
who doesn't want another
That
Cruella
first-
movie?
is she gonna kill the dogs in that one?
Are they gonna have the dogs in that one?
Oh yeah. Maleficent came first, just to be clear.
Oh, okay.
It was Maleficent, then Cinderella.
Gotcha.
The Bambi movie is gonna be crazy. I hope it's
that's-
like a really
That actually sounds so hard.
yeah. I hope it's like a really realistic take of a deer getting shot in the wilderness. Like I wanted to
Dude,
traumatize.
They should get the Rock to play Bambi, like in that one little thing at
Yeah.
SNL. The Rock playing Bambi would be so awesome.
He gets a gun, starts gunning down.
No, I want to play completely straight. Like it's just the
Oh.
Rock's voice.
It's just
The
a
Rock's
Rock's
voice.
voice.
That's
But
awesome.
Bambi is like a kid, but then it's like The Rock and The Rock plays up the voice too. It's really deep and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about today? I think this is probably a good place to end it.
I'm good. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do it.
All right. Well,
Ending.
thank you guys, everybody, for listening. This was the OTOT podcast, just giving you our thoughts on the state of Disney. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Threads at OTOTpod. You can catch us on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube now. And Jason, is our TikTok up or not yet?
I have taken a sabbatical from all social media, so the answer to that is no. But I can't
Okay.
make it.
All right.
We
well,
will be
maybe
we're having more
TikTok soon.
socials. Yeah, TikTok soon.
Okay. All right. Well.
Eventually.
All right. I don't
Gotta
think
get on Snapchat.
we gotta get on Snapchat. We could be
Yeah,
put these episodes out in Snap stories.
That's what they
We're
just did
all
for
gonna
Mean
get-
Girls with TikTok.
Yeah.
We're gonna get allegations. So if we go on TikTok, they're gonna be completely fake, but they're gonna show up somehow. We're all gonna get Chris D'Elia.
All right. Yeah. That's it. Thank you guys for listening. Goodbye.
All right.
See-
Bye.